Ahoy there! Captain Benzie here, coming at you with another episode of the Cat Skull Academy, the series that aims to teach you everything you need to know about the various different gameplay systems and mechanics in EVE Echoes. In today's lesson we're going to be talking about Industry Decryptors, an exciting new feature that was added as part of the anniversary update in August 2021. By the end of this video you should have a firm understanding of what industry decryptors are and why you might want to use them in your industrial process to help you maximise your profits. We'll also talk about how you can actually find these yourself rather than having to buy them off the market. Now if you do enjoy this video, please do let me know by hitting a like on it, subscribe to the channel for all things EVE Echoes, ensuring that you ding the notification bell and set it to all notifications so that you never miss an upload. If you do want to go the extra mile to help support this channel, you can come find me on Patreon and on our Redbubble merchandise store. Both are linked in the description down below. If you're finding the Cat Skull Academy videos in particular useful, do make sure to check out the Cat Skull Academy playlist on my YouTube channel, as there are plenty of lessons just like this designed to teach you the full basics of EVE Echoes, everything you need to know, rolled into one easy to access place. With all that said and done though, let's jump into talking about industry decryptors. Industry decryptors are a special consumable item that can be used to modify various industrial processes. There are 8 different variations of these, 4 across 2 different flavours, both production and reverse engineering. Let's look at the production decryptors first of all, starting with the production process decryptor. Now, there is a slight visual annoyance with how these display. Rather than having everything listed under basic info, for some reason there's a bit floating up at the top right, then there's also basic info. Both of these do need to be taken into account. I'm assuming this is a visual bug and I'm hoping it gets fixed. By the time you're watching this video, if it looks normal and it doesn't have this in the top right, yay, that means NetEase fixed it. So here, the production process decryptor. This has a material efficiency adjustment of 5% with a time efficiency adjustment of negative 50%. This basically means you're going to have fewer items consumed when you try to produce whatever ship or module or rig it is that you're producing, but it is going to take 50% longer in order to do so. So that kind of gives you the way up there, the pro or the con. It's going to use fewer materials, but take longer. Not necessarily a problem if you're going to set it up to start cooking overnight, and it would have finished either way by the time you wake up the next day. Then we have the production symmetry decryptor. This has a lower material efficiency adjustment, this time only 2% compared to 5%, but it has a time efficiency adjustment of a positive 10%. This means you have a better material efficiency, 2% fewer materials are going to be used, but you also have a 10% faster baking time for whatever it is you're producing. That's a net gain on both sides. It's not as big material as our previous one, but it's still a good time adjustment there overall. The third is the production accelerant decryptor, and as the name suggests, this increases our time efficiency adjustment by 30%. We've got a big increase here to our time efficiency, meaning whatever it is you're trying to cook is going to come out of the oven faster. However, it does have a material efficiency adjustment of negative 1%, so you are going to consume slightly more materials in the process of making whatever it is you want to make. More materials used, but will cook faster. Finally then, for production, we have the production enhancement decryptor, and this is the absolute grandpappy of all of these. Adjust yields 1. This means whatever you were baking now creates 2. So if you want to, for example, make yourself an Astero or a Stratios, you are going to actually produce 2 if you're using a production enhancement decryptor. The downside of this, though, is a reduction of 125% of the material efficiency and a 70% reduction in time efficiency. So you're going to have a lot more materials required, though notably only 1 blueprint, but you will then also take a lot longer in order to cook it. But again, you get 2 items out of 1 blueprint, which can massively increase your profits. You don't need me to tell you how amazing that can be. Needless to say, these are very expensive and highly sought after. Then if we look at the reverse engineering options, these have the same names and do very similar things, but for reverse engineering. So first of all, a reverse process decryptor gives you a success rate increase of 30%, so you're much more likely to be successful at your reverse engineering job, but it's going to take you 50% longer to actually achieve that. We then have the reverse symmetry decryptor. This again is a positive success rate adjustment of 10%, and it's going to be slightly faster, a 10% time efficiency adjustment there. We then have the reverse accelerant decryptor, which is going to be 30% faster decryption, 30% faster reverse engineering, sorry, but it is at a reduced success rate, 10% reduced success rate. This, to me, is one I don't think we're going to see a lot of. I think people are more likely to want to take their time making something and guarantee that it happens, rather than sort of rush it and risk it. Rush it and risk it is not a phrase you like to hear as an industrialist, I don't think. Finally then, we have the reverse enhancement decryptor. Again, as an enhancement decryptor, this is increasing your yield by 1, so anything you are trying to reverse engineer, you will actually make 2. If you're trying to, again, take one of those, say, Sisters of Eve debris and make it into an Astero or a Stratios or a Nesta blueprint, then it is going to create 2 of those if it is successful. This is a success rate adjustment, however, of negative 50%, and it's a time efficiency adjustment of negative 50% as well. This means it is much more risky to do this. It's a very high risk reward, and you might be tempted to go for this. Again, this is one of these I don't see a lot of industrialists really going for it, just because risky and speedy aren't, it's not what industrialists like to do, I don't think. But again, if you're willing to take that risk and get 2 of the blueprints out of the reverse engineering process, or 2 nanocores, for example, that can be absolutely huge. Just, you are massively affecting your dice roll. It is gonna be a lot riskier in order to do so, and it'll take a little bit longer. Now, for me, as I said, I do think the production enhancement decryptor is possibly the best and the most highly sought after of any of these. I think the reverse accelerant is going to be the lowest on the list. I don't think anyone's going to want their reverse engineering to go faster at an increased risk of it failing. I do think that the reverse process and the reverse symmetry have their uses. It's literally just the reverse accelerant and the reverse enhancement that I think are probably going to be a little bit hit and miss. Some people will love them, some people will absolutely hate them. So let's actually showcase how this works and how you utilize this. Now, I'm going to do this using the manufacture process, but if you want to use a reverse decryptor, then of course you just follow these steps with the reverse engineering jobs rather than manufacturing. The steps are exactly the same. So we tap on a manufacturing job as usual, we scroll down to whatever ship we want to build. So for example here, I'm going to look at an Astero just because we've been talking about it a lot and it's one of my favourite ships currently. Now here, assume that everything else is white. Assume that I've got the Astero blueprint, I've got sufficient planetary materials and minerals in order to build this. I then tap on the plus sign here where it says Use Decryptor. Here you can see that I have all of these different decryptors listed. If you paid attention in the previous section, you'll have seen I only had 1 of each of these decryptors. I've had to magic up a few others just to showcase this. Essentially here for the Astero, you'll see that it uses 4 decryptors of a particular type in order to achieve the actual benefit. You need to use 4 of those decryptors for an Astero. So if I wanted to go for example here, the production enhancement decryptor, if I try tapping on it and hitting confirm select, it's going to tell me insufficient decryptors. I can't do it. So if we untick that one and instead go up for the production process decryptor, those I have 4 of. If I hit confirm select there, it appears now in that box on the right hand side. If I decide that actually I've changed my mind, I can either untick Use Decryptor and it will not consume those 4 decryptors, or I can tap on the weird little sort of left and right arrow here and that will open this menu up again and allow me to change that decryptor. Now, notably, it is not always 4 decryptors required. If we go back to something just like a standard Condor 2 and have a look here at Use Decryptor, you'll see here only 1 is required, so we can choose any of the decryptors that I happen to have in my item hanger because I'm going to have at least 1 of them. So here I could go for that production enhancement decryptor, hit confirm select, and then I can build it. And you'll see there as well, it tells you exactly what is going to happen. Increased time efficiency, reduced material efficiency, whilst increasing the runs by 1. So this would make 2 Condor 2s. Now, I'm not suggesting you'd actually use one of these production enhancements for a Condor 2. Use these on something that's worth it. But notably, the more valuable the ship, the more of these decryptors it will actually require for you to use to be utilized in the process. The next question perhaps then is, where do you actually find these decryptors? Now, if you've been paying attention to any of my Relic and DataCite videos, you should already know the answer to this one, but all of these decryptors, both the reverse and the production, are found inside data sites, so you'll need to scan down data sites and decrypt several of the loot chests there. Now, an important point to note here, as I will showcase through some of these videos, is that reverse, production, and all the different types are available seemingly across all 5 of the pirates. Here we have a Serpentis databank with a reverse symmetry decoder. We have then a Serpentis mainframe with a production process decryptor, a production accelerant and a Serpentis databank, a Serpentis info shard with a reverse process, another one with a reverse process, and a production accelerant and a Serpentis info shard. It also appears that all 4 types can be found in as low as info shards. You don't necessarily need to open up the full difficulty 4 boxes like the databanks or the difficulty 3 mainframes. Even the enhanced ones can be found in info shards. I have shown this, I don't have a screenshot to demonstrate it, but 100% I have confirmed that is possible. And it does certainly appear that there is no difference in the loot between Angel data sites, Blood Raider data sites, Guristas data sites, Nation data sites, or Serpentis data sites. The loot pool does seem to be unified across the board. Some appear to be more likely than others, but we don't have firm data on that. The basic fact is, if you want to get yourself some of these decryptors and you don't want to pay market prices for them, you're going to need to strap a wide resonance scanner to your ship along with a data analyzer, scan down some data sites, open up those boxes, cross your fingers that you get the loot that you want. And there we have it, a basic rundown on the various different industry decryptors. Now, if you were lucky enough, or daring enough I suppose, to, for example, take a Sisters of Eve debris from Faction Wargames, then use the reverse enhanced decryptor to make that into 2 blueprints for the Estero, then you used the production enhance decryptors to turn those 2 blueprints into 4 Esteros, that could be a mad amount of profit. That's just one example, and I'm using the Estero as an example because at the time of me making this video, that is one of the most lucrative and sought after ships in EVE Echoes. By the time you watch this video, however, the Estero may have dropped in value, it may not be something people are chasing after. I'm not an industrialist, and this video is not going to be able to stand the test of time if I try to list a whole load of things that I think you could make big bucks on. You're going to need to run those numbers yourself, speak to some other industrialists around you, either in your corporate alliance or on Reddit or Discord, various different places you can speak to them and get a vague idea of what is selling. Of course, you can just watch the market yourself as well and get an idea of what is selling and what you can make absolute bank off of if you are using these decryptors cautiously, carefully, and wisely. I can't tell you that. Other industrialists might be able to, but most rewarding, I think, is for you yourself to actually figure that one out. Anyway, do let me know your thoughts and opinions regarding decryptors in the comment section down below. I personally think this is a really cool system, and I've heard a lot of industrialists getting froth at the mouth excited about this, how cool it can be, and, you know, sort of breaking down the numbers as to which ships now become more profitable, which are less profitable, what kind of things you can do to build and make extra money and reverse engineering and all that kind of thing there. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Otherwise, folks, thank you for watching this one right the way to the end. Happy sailing, and see you in New Eden!